This is a cautionary tale, and I could save somebody's life by sharing it. I think it's important to share it because I almost lost my own life. Even within seconds, it could have made a difference, and I didn't think about it. So here is our tank. It's connected to our dryer. And we also have a hot water heater, which is a gas hot water heater. Will takes care of all this stuff. I don't think about it. I just come in here and do the laundry. And as you can see, we actually had a mishap today. It was very scary. And now that we think about it, now that we realize what happened, it's really scary. So it was a very, very small, I don't know if you'd call it an explosion. Bang.
It was a bang. Not an explosion, it was a bang.
It knocked the screens off of the windows, and it knocked a big, it knocked one of the panels in the ceiling down.
What a few panels.
And I was here in this laundry room. I was doing laundry right here. I was folding clothes from the dryer, and then I needed to put in another load of clothes into the dryer, and I noticed that the clothes were not quite dry, and so I said, the valve is off. Why does Will turn the valve off? Because he's done it before where you turn the valve off just for safety precaution, and then all I had to do was turn it on and it was working. So I was sweating hot, feeling really, really, kind of tired, and I didn't think about it. I just looked up and saw that valve in the off position and thought, I guess that's why the clothing aren't dry. I'll just turn it on. Didn't think twice about it. 2 seconds later, I pushed the start button on the dryer. I pushed the start button on the dryer, and that ignited the dryer, and boom! There was a loud bang, and I felt a huge amount of pressure envelop me, this wave go over me of this bright yellow and red around me. And I just jumped out of the room really fast. And of course, I was leaning against the wall, shaking. Will came running in, asking, "Are you okay?" So at that point, you jumped over to see what was going on.
Yeah, just had to shut off the source, the tank, the valve, and didn't think about anything else. I just shut off that. I heard the leak, and I just went to shut off the valve and then shut off the gas tank when the leak was gone. But I didn't realize that the valve that was open over there and hooked for the water heater that is not hooked up yet, that's the one where the leak was coming from, because the valve got open.
Right. I opened a valve that was connected to a hose that is supposed to go to the water heater that Will was installing. And I didn't know that valve was not connected, that it was open, it was down, it looked like it was going towards the dryer, so I didn't even think about it. This is what I'm talking about. Will, do you want to show them where?
Right here, this is the valve. The valve is supposed to be for the water heater. It's supposed to be over here. Once it's hooked up, it'll get open, but it was not open. This thing was like that, and Sarah thought that was the hookup for the dryer, and obviously it is not. It is the hookup for the water heater. But yep, it just went down, and it looked like it was hooked up when it wasn't.
I didn't think twice about it. I just said, I turned it on, didn't think twice about it. I was a bit drowsy, so I wasn't quite as alert, or I might have thought about it, but to me, I didn't even think twice about it. I just turned it on. But when we realized what had happened, after we were talking about, okay, what happened? Once we realized what had happened, we realized if I turned it on and then immediately turned on the dryer, that means that it was only coming out of that hose. The gas was only coming out of that hose for maybe a second or two between the time I turned it on and the time I went and pushed that button. And it was enough to go boom and have, enough in the room to cause a big bang. And I saw it all around me. I'm okay. It wasn't enough to hurt me. But now we realize in retrospect how dangerous it is what I had done without realizing it, because even if I had waited a few more seconds, or God forbid one of the kids distracted me or something, between the time I turned that on and the time I pushed that button, I might not be standing here telling you this story right now. I feel like literally that's how close we were today to having a disaster. I'm sharing this, and obviously I'm still really shaken up about it. I'm sharing this with you guys because I feel like I'm coming from Canada where we don't use anything like that, and I didn't even think about it. It didn't register with me, the dangers. I just thought, oh yeah, it's no problem, right? I didn't think. Now I'm going to think differently. Now, anytime I turn I'm going to double check and make sure I know exactly. I'm going to check everything. Is it connected? Is it safe before I turn that?
We do just got to make a correction that we do use gas in Canada. We do have a water heater with the gas line. We do have a furnace with the gas. We use gas all over the house. Just you never touch them.
I've never seen a gas valve or heard of anything to do with it, so it's something that maybe only contractors are aware of. I don't know. No, the average person doesn't.
There's valves all over, like in the house to make the gas and shut up.
I never seen one.
Well, yeah, because
I didn't even realize that they were there, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to be a handyman to know all these things. But yeah, we do have. We just don't see the tank. We just don't see the gas tank in the house because the gas comes from a plant in.
Okay.
It's all underground, right?
Okay. So, yeah. This is a bit different for me. So that's why I want to share it, because I didn't even think twice about it. I didn't think that I should check something like that, and I feel like
I'm surprised because usually when she's not sure about something and she always said, "Oh, did you shut off the valve, or can I turn the valve on, or is it okay? Is it safe?" She always asks me.
I do usually because I'm unsure. This time I didn't feel unsure.
Somehow this time she just did not.
I was like, "Oh, I know what it is," because it's happened before where the valve was off. And he was like, well, you just have to turn it on. Like, I turn it off, for safety. And he did it a few times before. So that's why this time I was like, oh, he turned it off. Why did he do that? That's what I was thinking. Didn't even realize what had happened until quite a while afterwards when we were talking.
Because we thought that we thought that there was a leak, and that's why
we didn't know.
That's why the room filled up with gas, and once we started the dryer, the bang happened. And then it wasn't until later at night, like right now, that we started talking about what is it that she did, and then she just said, I turned on the valve, and I said, which valve did you turn? Because I was aware that the valve for the dryer is on, and so I asked, which one did you turn? He said, the one that is higher up here, close to the dryer. And I said, I went to check, and sure enough, it was on. And I said, that valve is open. It's not supposed to be open. It's supposed to be closed because it's not hooked up for the water heater yet.
That's when we realized it. That's when we realized what had happened.
Yep.
And then I started to think about, my God, just pouring out of this hose. That's what happened after just a second or two of it being on. And now, like, of course, I'm, pretty shaken up, but I will never ever turn on a gas valve anywhere ever without 100% knowing. That's a lesson that I think was a very big caution for me to be extra, extra, extra cautious.
Moral of the story, if you're not so sure, ask.
Yeah, because you don't want to almost explode like I did today. No, seriously, guys, it's not even a joke.
Not a joke. Not a joke at all.
So anyway, still in one piece. Thank God.
Thank God.
Thank God.